So, today I want to talk a little bit about autism and meltdowns. Last night we went to Walmart and we walked in. It was my son, my daughter, and myself. We walked in and I just had to get a few things. And I go around and I'm getting the buggy. Well, you know, like when you first walk in, they have toys right there. Well, my son noticed some toys, and he was standing there. Well, then it was shop with a cop, too. So a bunch of people started to come in all at once. Well, I'm right on the other side getting the buggy, and I holler at Brinley, and I say, hey, grab your brother so he don't get run over by these people. And because he's little, you know, he's only 4. And so she grabs him, and she starts to pick him up and pull him to, you know, bring him to the buggy. And that's it. Like, that's all she did. And he always has to wipe the germs off, so I'm wiping the germs off of the buggy, and he absolutely freaks out. Like, he starts screaming and throwing himself on the ground and beating his fist off the concrete and just screaming and hitting himself in the face and just pulling his hair and like just freaking out, like screaming, not just screaming, like I'm talking the piercing scream, a piercing scream that they would have heard all over that store. All over it. Like the people, like all the people around us were like, you know, like they just stopped and looked. And it kind of upsets me because do you know what it's like to raise a kid with autism? If you don't look at me like you could do a better job than me, because I can guarantee you that nothing that you do is going to make that meltdown any better for that child. Okay? Anyways, he wanted to look at the toys. So anyways, I get him in the buggy. I'm like, you know, once he starts screaming like that, I pick him up and I'm like, okay, if you're going to act like that, then you get in the buggy. Well, then he starts hitting himself. And I'm like, stop hitting yourself. I'm like, you know what? If you don't stop, Santa Claus is watching you and you're going to lose presents. So straighten it up. And he keeps telling me he wants to show me. I show you, he kept saying. So I told him, I said, you know what? If you be good while we're in the store and you listen, you can show me. When we leave, you can show me what you're talking about. You can show me what you mean and what you're wanting. And you're not getting it today because it's too close to Christmas. But if you're really good, maybe Santa Claus will bring it to you. Well, anyways, we go through the store and he's excellent. He's so good. He keeps saying throughout the story, I show it to you. I show it. And I say, yes, you can show it to me when we leave. You've got to be good, though. So he's good. And then we check out, and I forget that he wants to show it to me. Well, then he reminds me, and then I tell the lady when you walk out the door, I'm like, is it okay if I just park my buggy right here and walk over there with him so he can show me what he's wanting? And she's like, yes, that's fine. I heard him whenever he came in that he was upset. And I said, yes, he was very upset. He wants to show me what this is. So we get over there, and a long time ago, we were at our neighbor's, and I was getting help paying one of my bills, and there was a pink dollhouse there, and I told him, you know, I told him I would get him anything in there, but I did not want to buy him a pink dollhouse. But the lady at the checkout is like, he can have it, just he can take it home with him. And I'm like, it's a girl's toy, you know, but I went ahead and let him take it. But it was the same exact dollhouse that he was looking at, but it had 3 little people with it. It had a car that went in the garage. It had a couch. It had all kinds of stuff with the house. And he said, see, it has people and car. And I'm like, honey, you already have that. And then I'm thinking in my head, you know what? I could spray paint the dang house brown, or spray paint it blue, or spray paint it gray, or any color besides bright pink. And it would be fine, you know what I mean? But anyways, I tell him, no, we're not getting it today, but we'll see about Christmas. I said, if you're really good, maybe, you know, Santa Claus will bring it to you. Well, and he was fine, and he left there, and it was fine. And he was just happy he got to show me, you know. And really, I think the whole time, that's all he really wanted, was just he wanted to show me that the house had people with it. You know, it wasn't that he, you know, was throwing a fit and just having a meltdown for no reason. You know, he wanted to show me. You know, it was just simple. And once he showed me, he was fine. He didn't cry. He didn't, you know, it wasn't like he cried for the toy. You know, he just wanted to show me. Anyways, today, he has another meltdown. But The reason he had the meltdown is because the last time that he got his hair cut, he got a hair in his eye, and I had to end up taking him to the eye doctor, and they had to give him steroid drops, and he was on steroid drops for 3 weeks. But in the middle of it, okay, he was on them for 1 week, and then he ended up getting pink eye from school. So then we had to stop the steroid drops and start the pink eye drops, and then he was on those for 7 days, and then we had to stop those and go back on the pink eye drops. So he was actually having eye drops for like a month straight, and he was tired of it. So now that's a part of him that he don't like, to think he's going to get hair in his eyes, you know, or get anything in his eyes. He does not want to do the eye drops. So anyways, he's the one that told me. He said I need to go see Katie. He loves Katie. And I said, okay, so I made him an appointment. And when he goes in, he's fine. But then he gets up in the chair and he just starts panicking. And as soon as she touches the back of his head with the clippers, he spazzes. Like, he starts stimming. Like, when he stims, he straightens his hands out like this, and he just goes like that. And he stemmed. A lot of people will do different things. They'll do like this. They'll do like this. Autism is different. Stemming is just a repeated motion, repetitive behavior. Anything that you do repetitive. But anyways, that's his stemming method. That's what he's always done. And he starts stemming, and he starts just crying, and he's saying, "Mommy, wipe my tears, and it was so sad. So I get his tears wiped, and the whole time I'm holding my hands over his eyes, or like this on both sides, to keep it from getting hair on it. Well, then I had this coat on, and it got hair up on the side of it, and he wanted me to wipe his eyes, and I went to wipe his eyes, and he saw that hair, and he panicked. He's like, "No, there's hair on your coat." So I'm like, "Oh man," I'm like, "See, Bubby," I'm like, you just keep your eyes closed, And poor Katie, she's telling him the whole time, "You're such a good boy, you're such a good boy." And I'm like, "He's being terrible." And she's like, "Yeah, but if I tell him he's a good boy." Ooh, good boy. Thank you. Here, I got some wipes. Excuse me 1 second. Here, baby. Here, baby, wipe your hands. Yeah, get them shiny, sweetheart. He's wiping his hands. Here's 2 more. Give me the old ones. Give me the old ones. Hold on. Old, new. There you go. We're waiting on our food. Oh! Threw them at me. But, so anyways, he gets the haircut and he looks splendid. Look, show him, bud. Show him, bud. You look handsome. You look so cute, baby. You were such a good boy. But you were a good boy. You got your hair cut like a big boy. And I never have problems with him getting a haircut. He loves getting a haircut because I think he has a little crush on Katie. But I think the hair in his eye traumatized him. Like, I truly do. Because the minute he sat in that chair, he's like, "No, I don't get hair in my eyes." And I'm like, "Honey, you got to keep your eyes closed." So the whole time as he's closing his eyes, he's like, and bawling. And I'm like, "Honey, you don't have to do that. Just close your eyes like you're sleeping. Like, you don't have to you're just making it worse, and you're stressing to try to close your eyes when you don't need to do that. Just close them, sweetheart." And he couldn't. Like, he was just spazzing out. But he started the screaming and the hitting himself in there, and Katie just kind of took a step back, and I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Just give me a second to talk to him." And he calmed down after I talked to him. I'm like, and he just kept wanting me to wipe his tears. "Mommy, wipe my tears." And I'm like, "I am wiping your tears, sweetheart." But anyways, we ended up getting a towel and putting it up over his face. But I'm telling you, the tantrums lately are more frequently than ever before. And, it's just, I think a lot of it, not long ago, he was saying, not long ago, he was saying that, now I forgot what I was saying. Dang ADHD. Oh, he was saying what? He kept saying what all the time. Like, when you would say something to him, he'd say, "What? What?" And a lot of times, you know, people would just repeat what they just said, the same thing. They just repeat it over to them. And that doesn't work with him. Like, he's not saying what because he didn't hear you. He heard you, but he doesn't know what you mean. You know, so you got to say it in a different way. So you say, do you want to go get something to eat? He says, what? Okay, we're out and about right now and we're not at the house. We can get something to eat if you want. What do you think you would like to eat? You know, and then maybe he understands what I'm saying then. You know, if he says what again, and 9 times out of 10 he doesn't the second time I explain it. But if he does keep saying what, then I know he's just being a little butt, you know? And he's just doing it to just get to me. But, you know, it's hard to deal with the tantrums. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's easy. You know, and it's hard when everybody's looking at you like you can't control your child. Because I can tell you right now, I can control my child. You know, and no, whenever he's having a tantrum, it is a little bit more difficult for me to get him calmed down. But I can guarantee you that nothing that you do is going to be different than what I do. And you're not going to be able to control him any more than what I am able to control him. I can probably control him better than what you can because I know my child, you know. But if I put him in the hands of somebody else, yes, he might be a little bit better on his behavior, but that's any child. You know, any child. They don't act like they act with their parents when they're with somebody else. You know what I mean? That's just like at school. You know, now he's been doing better with the walking. When we go to Walmart, he'll grab my hand, he'll walk with me. But, you know, like when he walks down the hallway with his teacher, he holds her hand. He does not run. He does not kick. He does not jump. He does not scream. He does not yell. He does not swing. He does not launch. He does not anything like that. He walks beside her like a young man, and he holds her hand, and he does what he's supposed to do. Now, if that was me, he'd be hanging and jumping and twisting and bouncing, and he would, you know, because he's my kid. You know, kids, that's any kid. Any kid tends to not listen to their parents worse than what, you know, or whatever, more, no, they don't listen to their parents more than what they do to somebody else. You know, they'll listen to somebody else rather than their own parent. But, you know, that's just a little bit on my life in the tantrums lately. I just wanted to do a video about it because I don't know if, you know, if any of you guys might have been at Walmart last night when my son was having a tantrum. But if you are, I do apologize, you know, but look at the gray hairs on me starting. Look at them. They're terrible. They're everywhere. This side's just as bad. Terrible. But anyways, you know, I do apologize. And if I ever see you out and you see my child having a tantrum, again, I apologize. But you know, it is what it is. That's my baby, and I'm proud of who he is, and I love him. And you know what? We do the best we can to get by, and we will continue to do the best we can to get by. You know, we're working on it, and we're trying, and that's all we can do. So on that note, hey, tell them bye-byes. Tell them bye-byes.
Bye.
Bye-byes. Say we love you. Say we love you, Waylon.
Love you, Waylon.
Say, love you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.